Newly installed Attorney General Pam Bondi is wasting absolutely no time. Bondi was sworn in on February 5th, a Wednesday. I'm recording this video on February 6th. So I'm going to take you through everything that she has addressed during her first 24 hours as Attorney General. But I have to caveat this. I'll post this video on February 7th, and I'm sure that this new head of the Department of Justice will have done even more to address some of the issues that are key to the Trump administration. It's amazing how much she is a reflection of the breakneck speed at which the executive branch is moving in general. I know there's some questions about if this is sustainable, but it's really amazing to see these people entrusted by the president not just say, oh, I'm going to get a lot done in the first 100 days. They're saying we're going to get a lot done in the first 30 days. And again, I think Pam Bondi is a great example of this. So who is Pam Bondi? Bondi is a 59-year-old former Florida Attorney General. She was the first woman to hold that position after she was elected in 2011. She went to University of Florida to get her undergrad degree. She went to Stetson University for law school, and she was admitted to the Florida bar in 1991. A lot of people know Pam Bondi because she has been such a vocal supporter of Donald Trump, basically since 2016. In fact, there was a rumor that she was in consideration for an administration position back then. She worked for a law firm in the interim between the end of Trump's first administration and now this second go around with Trump. President Trump nominated Bondi after former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz withdrew from consideration for the Attorney General position. And she was pretty well received by the MAGA base. Democrats tend to criticize her for her previous questioning of the 2020 election and the results, as well as some of her efforts to make sure that voting tallies are secure in this country. As an example of sort of the mainstream or left-leaning take on Bondi, this is an excerpt from CNN. During the 2016 presidential election, Bondi became a top Florida surrogate for the Trump campaign, and her support for the president has not wavered. When Trump was first impeached, Bondi joined the defense team for his trial in the Senate and baselessly accused then private citizen Joe Biden of corrupt business dealings with his son Hunter. Since leaving the Florida Attorney General post in 2019, Bondi has worked at Ballard Partners, a lobbying firm with deep ties to Trump and his chief of staff, Susie Wiles. So Bondi's a longtime supporter of Trump. She makes sense as an experienced lawyer, and I think that was one of the things that Democrats couldn't criticize her on. She is an experienced lawyer. So many of the people that Trump nominated for cabinet or other high-ranking positions, that was the first thing that came out. They don't have the experience. Again, this is something that was leveled at Pete Hegseth. On her road to confirmation, Bondi appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee. A lot of those clips that kind of captured her verbal wit and her intensity kind of went viral. I think that they're worth watching to kind of get a picture of what she's good at and what she might be like if you see her representing the Trump administration in court.
Your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Let me move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking. May I speak? You cut me off when I was speaking. When I ask you the next question, you can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi. Well, I'd like to answer the previous one, Senator.
When we met yesterday,
you pointed your finger at me and said you were speaking.
You did not seem to be familiar
let me answer my question.
with
I'm not going to be bullied by you,
Senator
Senator
the 14th Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you
And I'm
didn't want to
hoping
hear
you're more
my
familiar
answer
with it
about
today
Pennsylvania.
after I gave an opportunity to study overnight. So can you tell me and this committee what the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed as Attorney
You're the one
General,
asking for a confirmation
hey,
vote,
you
ma'am.
cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment, we all know, addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
You say the right things, that you're going to be the people's lawyer. That's what you have to say to be here.
Senator, first, I need to clarify something that you said, that I have to sit up here and say these things. No, I don't. I sit up here and speak the truth. I'm not going to sit up here and say anything that I need to say to get confirmed by this body. I don't have to say anything. I will answer the questions to the best of my ability and
Well,
honestly.
let me ask you, an individual who says that he is going to, quote, come after, end quote, people he alleges, quote, help Joe Biden rig the presidential elections, that he has a list of people who are part of this deep state who should be prosecuted, that he's going to close down the FBI building on his first day in office. Is that a person who appropriately should be the FBI director? Aren't those comments inappropriate? Shouldn't you disavow them and ask him to recant them?
Senator, I am not familiar with all those comments. I have not discussed those comments with Mr. Patel. What I do know
Well,
is
I'm
Mr.
asking you
Patel,
for your view.
Excuse me. What I do know is Mr. Patel was a career prosecutor. He was a career public defender defending people. And he also has great experience within the intelligence community. What I can sit here and tell you is Mr. Patel, if he works with running the FBI, if he is confirmed, and if I am confirmed, he will follow the law if I am the Attorney General of the United States of America, and I don't believe he would do anything otherwise.
After passing the Senate Judiciary Committee vote, she advanced on to a general vote in the Senate where she was supported 54-46, with Republicans supporting her, and also John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, supporting her. He kind of did so by making a derogatory comment about how he's not her first choice, but also Merrick Garland, Biden's AG, also wasn't a very good choice. Bondi's lived in kind of an interesting space during the last couple of weeks throughout the confirmation process. She's not like Marco Rubio, who had unanimous support in the Senate. It's not as though she is a darling. On the other hand, she ultimately did not face the same kind of backlash that someone like Pete Hegseth did as he was preparing to accept the role of Secretary of Defense, or Kash Patel, the president's pick for FBI director. She had critics, but ultimately no one thought she wouldn't get confirmed. Still, I think it's worth noting what kind of concerns left-wing or more progressive political commentators have about her. This is an excerpt from a piece written by David Graham, a staff writer at The Atlantic. If confirmed, Bondi will likely be a more effective and reasonable Attorney General than Gates. She's not driven by personal grievances in the way that he seems to be, and she has experience as both a prosecutor and a state attorney general. Like Gates, however, she is unlikely to defend the independence of the Justice Department from presidential interference. In addition to her past loyalty, she has backed Trump's bogus claims of election fraud in 2020. Trump has also already named 3 of his personal criminal defense attorneys to the top DOJ positions. At this stage, perhaps less bad news is the best anyone can desire, but none of this is good. So no one on the Democratic side of the aisle, no progressive reporters, are throwing Pam Bondi a party. They're sort of accepting her as a lesser evil than Gates, who, immediately caused a huge freak out. People didn't, not conservatives, but left-leaning people really did not want Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General. The Senate confirmed Bondi on Tuesday, February 4th, and it's like she immediately jumped into action. There was a swearing-in ceremony on Wednesday, February 5th in the Oval Office, led by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. People loved her black and white suit and her tall black heels, and she and President Trump both delivered remarks.
This is a great honor and a real privilege. I'm thrilled to be here today with our nation's next incredible, and she will be incredible, Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. And I want to congratulate Pam. She's worked hard, so hard, and unbelievably fair and unbelievably good at law enforcement. I just want to congratulate you. Very special person.
Thank you, President Trump. I've known you for many, many years, and I will not let you down. I am truly honored that you have asked me to take on this role, and I will make you proud, and I will make this country proud. And I just want to thank all of my friends who are here today, my dear friends and my family, my mom, my husband, my pastor, Aaron Burke, is here, so many of my good friends and my colleagues. So thank you all so much. and I will restore integrity to the Justice Department, and I will fight violent crime throughout this country and throughout this world and make America safe again. Thank you.
So I'm going to list for you all the things Pam Bondi has addressed since taking her oath of office. Bondi announced that she had ordered a review of all of the cases brought against Trump by New York prosecutors, including District Attorney Alvin Bragg and Attorney General Letitia James. She also ordered that the newly formed Weaponization Working Group investigate former Special Counsel Jack Smith, who led the 2 federal investigations against Trump. She created the 10-7 task force, which is supposed to support families that were affected by the conflict between Hamas and Israel, as well as investigate and prosecute any crimes committed by Hamas supporters in the U.S. She announced that the Department of Justice would support Homeland Security's efforts to end illegal immigration. She ordered the Department of Justice to pause any funding to sanctuary cities. She's requiring the Department of Justice to submit reports to her by March 15th, confirming that they have ended any DEI or environmental justice program. Bondi also ended the federal moratorium on the death penalty. A lot of you will remember that right at the end of his presidency, Biden pardoned everyone on federal death row with 3 exceptions. As of the morning of February 6th, Pam Bondi has sued the city of Chicago and Illinois over their stance on sanctuary cities, again, part of the effort to end illegal immigration in the U.S. Finally, during his appearance at the National Prayer Breakfast on February 6th, Trump said that Bondi will be supporting efforts to end anti-Christian bias in America. So all in all, a busy first 24 hours in office for Pam Bondi and her staff, and I think this is what the voters wanted. They wanted a Trump administration that wasn't going to waste any time, and I think it's a credit to Trump that he has selected an attorney general that came out guns blazing, basically. She had all kinds of issues she was willing to address, and she didn't waste any time. Now, I don't know that this pace is sustainable, purely because the gears of the justice system seem to grind really slowly in this country. There'll be lawsuits like, let's say, the one against the city of Chicago that might take months to resolve. I don't know that you'll see an immediate solution there. But it seems like the things she's doing are not just in support of the Trump administration, but in cooperation with the goals of the other secretaries of different federal departments. The entire executive branch is moving at a breakneck pace. Again, I don't know how sustainable that's be, but I love the ambition that it reflects. So what do you guys think of Pam Bondi? Are you happy with her? Do you wish it was Matt Gaetz? It seems like, yes, she is here a little bit to avenge Trump, or at least call for accountability from the Biden administration with her review of Jack Smith's investigations and her review of what's going on in New York. On the other hand, that could benefit a lot of people who were unfairly targeted by the Department of Justice. If it starts with Trump, who knows where it'll end up. And she is really wrapping her arms around a large range of issues, some of them international, a lot of them domestic. I'm curious to see what comes from Pam Bondi. There is definitely going to be a lot of legal challenges to Trump's executive order, and I think having a strong and ambitious person leading the Department of Justice can only serve to benefit President Trump. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for all of you who have been watching these videos, especially the ones that you're not interested in. It definitely helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And just generally, I appreciate that you guys are interested in hearing what I have to say. So leave me some comments. I'm going to respond to them over the weekend. And I hope you're all having a fantastic week. Come back next week for another video on news and politics. And if you missed me before then, you can see me. I record with the Quartering Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday over on his channels. Thanks so much, guys.